Hi, it's Julianna Jay here, and I'm here with this week's Signpost from the Soul for numerologist.com. I've got two signposts for you, and I'm not sure which one is most relevant for you, but I've downloaded both, and I'm here to share them with you. So I hope we can take a moment to go within and just put our hand on our heart, close your eyes, and ask your heart, is it message number one that's most relevant or message number two? So just take a hunch and see message number one or message number two. I'm hoping both resonate with you, but it's nice to be able to choose and to see what your heart and soul are trying to tell you today and how the universe is trying to converse with you. So message number one for this week's Signpost from the Soul talks about how life sometimes gives us a curveball. Sometimes it throws us a curveball and it sets us completely off balance. And when that happens, it can be really, really difficult to find our grounding. Our vibration shakes. We're shook to our very core. We say these kind of words. We say things like, my goodness, I felt somebody stab me from the back. I felt shook to the core. My heart isn't in it anymore. And it's like our vibration has been actually shook. And I know with all the cosmic changes that are going on at the moment and the huge energetic shifts, there's patterns and relationships changing for people that they never perceived would happen. And it can feel very sad, and it can feel very grief-struck, and it can feel like it is hitting them from the back and that it's sending them into a tailspin, and it's like they can't find their grounding. So if this is happening for you, this is a really good message to help you to refocus and rethink again, because these messages come down from source to try and shine a light on what is important and to bring some kind of kindness so that your heart and soul can really understand that it's okay to grieve, it's okay to feel loss, it's okay to feel sad by the changes that have occurred. So source says in times like this, you need to be very gentle with yourself. And this feeling of the ground being shook and everything having changed can let us feel a little bit like the legs have been taken from under us. So our grounding is truly gone. And this brings up fear and uncertainty. And this is part of the human condition. A lot of the time the soul is quite happy with the changes. It knows that it needs to evolve and it needs to move on and it needs to transcend and it needs to transform. But the mind can feel so devastated by the change and by the loss that it doesn't know which end is up, as we say. So this is the code of duality, because with the code of duality, which is one of our deepest spiritual codes, the code of duality denotes that we will have dual experiences. So we will have some moments of joy and we'll have some moments of deep, deep sadness. We'll have moments of love and we'll have moments of fear. We're going to experience it all as a soul down here, because that's part of the soul expression. But the mind can feel just so devastated by the changes that are happening, that where suffering happens for you and for me is that when our expectation doesn't match our reality, we really feel like there is more than pain. It's a deep suffering that we feel that we cannot control. So it's quite amazing. And it can be just devastating. You know, I remember 2 years ago, I was driving home from a workshop and my car went up in flames out of nowhere. And I had to watch my lovely car that I really, really loved and was really proud of go up in flames. It nearly broke my heart. And I remember a really dear friend saying to me at that time, Julianna, will you make sure you tell people your story? Just talk about it. Talk it out of you. Because people are willing to listen and give you compassion. And it's important because this is the time that you're going through this experience. And if you actually cope with it now, and if you're real and truthful about it now, it will actually go into a space and time where there's a new acceptance. But just as you are now, this is hurting you. And I remember it being such good advice. And sometimes it's very important to find a good mentor or somebody that you can talk to who is not going to judge you, who is going to allow you to talk about your feelings just as they happen, who's going to allow you to say, I don't even know how to process this, and to be able to get this off your chest, so to speak, because the thymus is the part of our body that holds the grief. So if we get it off our chest, we're actually shifting the energy off the thymus, and we're actually allowing new flow of energy to come through, which as spiritual beings is so important, because when we feel stuck, it really feels hard on the vibration. So Source says, can you please acknowledge that it's happened and share it? And in time, it's so important to know when you're feeling like that there is hope. There's going to be a window of hope, and how it is now is not going to remain forever, because there will be sacred places and spaces of healing and transformation that will occur for you. So no, healing is on board and it's coming, and it's okay to feel as you do now. You're not falling apart. You're maybe breaking old patterns down and of expectations, and it could be your finest hour. You could be actually breaking down those patterns, but you actually could be building a beautiful crown that you can wear, that is a true crown that will show people what you've been through, the courage that you have, and what you've endured with eloquence and grace. And this may just allow you to go on and be empathic and compassionate with other people. So it actually really may bring you into alignment with how you need to share who you are with the world. So just have patience. Just know the angels are holding you now. So lean in and feel their loving embrace, and know you are very loved in heaven and on earth, in both aspects of your dual spiritual life. You are very loved. So I hope that message 1 and signpost 1 has brought empowerment to you today. Signpost number 2 is reminding you that there is a fountain within you. It's the fountain of your soul, and it's a fountain of total possibility. So Source is saying, don't walk away around looking like you've got an empty bucket and that you're so hungry, because the reality is there is a fountain inside you, and that fountain is ageless, it's timeless, and it's beyond measure. It's incredible because it's your soul. So it is vast and it cannot be curtailed. It has nothing to prove. So it is very confident in itself because it knows what it needs to do. And all it wants is new experiences. It wants variety. It wants to have new things happen. And it wants to see different aspects of itself playing out. It is well worth looking into the soul because it has truth in there that it's gathered over the ages. You're more than just this life. You have many past lives that your soul has passed through, and you have lots of wisdom that is just waiting to come forth through you. It won't stoop to criticism. So if you're suffering this week because somebody has criticized you, know that it's your mind that has been bruised and your ego that has been bruised and your heart may be bruised, but your soul is okay. You can't break your soul. So that criticism is quite interesting because the mind often needs endorsement and approval, but the soul doesn't. The soul knows it's already infinite. It knows that it has. You cannot, that it's happy for you to tell it the observations that it's having and that you're having of the way somebody's acting, but it's actually not going to be broken by those comments. It may be bruised, but never broken. The soul cannot be broken. It's the spirit of us. It has no needs for teachings, but it will revel at remembering things. You know, it's so important to go to new places that our soul is being drawn to. At the moment, I'm being drawn to Glastonbury. And I know that in many past lives, I've spent many, many times as in a scene. And I'm dying to go back to the heart chakra, the home of the heart chakra in Avalon, and actually remember aspects of myself that I haven't discovered yet down here. So I hope that you'll take time to go to where your soul is calling, to the water, to the beaches, to high mountains, to whatever it's calling you to, and allow that soul to roam. You know, the soul gets very confused by stress. So if you're very stressed and you feel like you've got to conform, that you don't fit in, that's your soul saying to you, no, this is out of vibrational alignment. We don't get stressed. Because the one thing that's really interesting about the soul is the soul never retires. I was doing a beautiful soul session for a lady this week, and that was the message, that the soul never retires. It continues to be a prism of light that wants new experiences and to ban new spectrums of light within it. So the soul is just always, forever, always young. So get that little feeling of being forever, always young. And when this November period of being able to manifest, get out there and try new things and feed that soul. You know, there are etchings all about you in the Book of Life. In the Book of Life, held by Metatron in the highest heavens, it is inscribed what you need to be. How you need to leave your legacy of love. And it's not a job. It's a legacy of love and your soul purpose. And you know, when I look into the Akashic Records with people during soul sessions, and I look at what the soul is yearning to experience down here, I can often really understand where the struggles are for the mind and for the human being. And when people get an understanding of why the soul is acting out in a certain way and how it's actually manifesting, it can be so nurturing for them to be able to say, oh my goodness, there is a plan to this. I haven't lost the plot. There is something going on, because there is a divine order and a divine time to everything. So allow that flow to come in, allow it to happen. And the last thing I want to say to you about this beautiful fountain is that your soul is pristine. So it's important to go within. And the soul needs no candles to ignite its divine spark. It is like the Olympian flame. It is always a light. So how do I access the fountain, you may say? To access that fountain, it is very important to go within. And I always say, if you don't go within, you go without. So feed your soul with love and laughter. Caress it with silence. Step into your senses, taste new things, listen to new music, get yourself out in Mother Nature and let her elements catch your hair in the wind and actually just really raise your vibration and bring you back into alignment, especially with these heavy energies that are happening at the moment. And just allow yourself to be truly, truly, truly present to yourself, and allow yourself to truly shine and to truly grow, because you're here to manifest big dreams. The soul isn't interested in little things, but it just wants to always evolve and to keep moving on. And that is the way our lives are planned. So go with the flow and know you're held. It's been an honour and a privilege to bring the 2 signposts today. Maybe both of them resonate, and if they do, I'd love to hear from you. So please give your comments here on numerologist.com. And until we meet at numerologist.com again, I wish you love in your heart, I wish you peace in your soul, and I wish you great manifesting for the month of November. Namaste, my friend, and I do hope to hear from you.